Alright, welcome to 1-4. We're doing a concept of a variable today. We just finished order of operations, which we will be using if you look at the examples. We're still going to do order of operations today, but now with some variables. Our next lesson is going to be fill-in equations. So our objectives today is I will be able to replace variables with numbers to evaluate algebraic expressions and explain what a variable is. We have two vocabulary words, variable and algebraic expression. So get out your vocabulary. We're at almost the end. We're in the V's, which is page 20. Okay, so we're at the V's. V. Okay, and we're at variable. So a variable is a letter that represents a number. So for example, if x equals 5, when I say x plus 2, that really means 5 plus 2 because that x, in this case, really represents 5. So a personal connection is like emojis. When we text, sometimes we use the emojis instead of using words. So instead of typing out, I'm happy or I'm smiling, we just send a smiley face. But it really means something. Similar to these variables, they mean something as well. Okay, and our other word is algebraic expression, which starts with an A. So we're all the way back to the very beginning, the very first page. Okay, and an algebraic expression is a math phrase that includes variables. A math phrase that includes variables. So for example, we have 6 plus a. That one only has one variable. It might have lots of variables or only variables, mx plus b. Or it could have just one again, 7c minus 5. Okay, so a personal connection would be like sending a text, like a text message with words and emojis. Okay, so you might say, you are, and then you might send a picture of like a happy face, or you could do like throw up B face if you're trying to say like you're gross. I don't know. Alright, that's what I send to my brother anyways. Just kidding. Okay, so building background. So we're going to find the secret message below. If 1 equals A, 2 equals B, 3 equals E, 4 equals I, 5 equals L, 6 equals M, 7 equals N, 8 equals R, 9 equals S, 10 equals U, and 11 equals V. Okay, so you have an 11. 11 is V, so we're going to start with V. Then we have 1. 1 is A. 8 is R. 4 is I. 1 is A. 2 is B. 5 is L. 3 is E. 9 is S. Then there's a space. Go back to 1, A. 8 is R. 3 is E. 7 is N. 10 is U. 6 is M. 2 is B. 3 is E. 8 is R. And 9 is S. So our secret message says variables are numbers. So really what we're doing today is similar to this, but instead of starting out with a number and putting in a letter, we're going to put a letter in and then get a number. Okay, so example 1 says evaluate the expression if x equals 7. So we have 12 plus x. So our first step is to rewrite the expression replacing the x with 7. So we're going to keep the 12 and the plus, but instead of saying x, we know x is equal to 7. Okay, now if you need to grab a highlighter, you can do that. And you can highlight that x, and this x equals 7. So we have 12 plus 7. Then our last step is to actually add those together. So 12 plus 7, because we're going to follow the order of operations, which there's only one thing to do, so we just do 12 plus 7. That equals 19. All right, moving on to example 2. All right, so example 2 says evaluate the expression if x equals 9. So this time our x is 9, which changed from last time when x is 7. So what you can do is you can take a highlighter if you'd like, and I'm going to highlight x is 9. Oops, that kind of didn't work. Oh well. And I'm going to highlight these x's, this x and this x. Okay, so that means I'm going to place those x's with that number 9. So instead of saying x, I'm going to say 9 plus 21 plus, and instead of saying x, I'm going to say 9. Okay, follow order of operations. So are there any grouping symbols? Nope. So we just add left to right. So the first thing we do is 9 plus 21. So that's step 1. That's an arrow. All right, 9 plus 21 is 30. And I bring down the plus 9 because I did this. So then I have 30 plus 9, which is 39. And that's my answer. Okay, example 3. We're going to evaluate this expression if x equals 5 and y equals 11. All right, so we have two variables this time. We have both a x and a y, and it's important that they go in the right spots. Okay, so I'm going to take my highlighter, and I like to highlight this x equals 5. I'm going to highlight the x. So I'm going to match the yellow with the yellow. You can kind of see the yellow, not very well. And then I'm going to highlight the y with a different color. I'm going to do orange. So y equals 11, and I'm going to highlight this y. That way I remember which one. If you sometimes the visual people like seeing yellow with yellow, orange with orange. Okay? Rewrite the expression replacing x with 5 and y with 11. Okay, so I have 17 minus my y, which is 11, plus my x, which is 5. Okay, now we follow the order of operations. So there's no grouping symbols, there's no parentheses, so I'm going to add and subtract left to right. So the first thing I'm going to do is the 17 minus 11. And that's 6. So now I have 6 plus 5. And that gives me 11. Okay, back page. 2 more examples left. Number 4 says evaluate the expression if x equals 12 and y equals 34. So we're going to rewrite the expression replacing x with 12 and y with 34. Okay? So x is 12. I'm going to highlight 12 with the orange this time, I guess, and highlight the x. That reminds me that that's where that 12 is going to go. I'm going to take my yellow one, which I know you guys can't see very well, and say y is 34, and highlight that y. Okay? So instead of saying y, I'm going to put the number there that represents y, and y is 34. So 34 minus 20 minus my x, which is 12. Now I'm going to follow my order of operations. There's still no grouping symbols, so we're going to go left to right. Okay, so my first subtracting is 34 minus 12. I'm sorry, minus 20. Okay, and 34 minus 20 is 14. And then bring down the minus 12. So that's the next thing we do. And 14 minus 12 is 2. All right, last problem, number 5. So evaluate the expression if A equals 5, B equals 9, and C equals 12. So I still only have 2 highlighters, so I'll start with A. A is 5, so I'm going to highlight the 5 with the orange, and here's the A. So this one we have like no numbers, it's all variables, but those variables really are numbers. Okay, B is 9, so I'm going to do that with my yellow, that's hard for you to see. And we have 2 B's, so I'm highlighting both those B's. Then because I don't have another highlighter, I'm just going to underline C. So I'm going to underline C here. I'm going to underline it here and underline it here. Okay, so we're going to rewrite the expression replacing A with 5, B with 9, and C with 12. Okay, keep all the symbols the same. So C is 12 plus parenthesis, B is 9 minus A, which is 5, parenthesis, plus parenthesis, B, which is 9, plus C, which is 12. Okay, now we need to follow the order of operations. This time we do have parentheses, so we need to do that first. So we're going to do the 9 minus 5, and we can do the 9 plus 12 in one step. Okay, so it's 12 stays the same, plus 9 minus 5 is 4, and then 9 plus 12 is 21. Okay, now we add left to right. So the first thing we add is the 12 plus 4. So 12 plus 4 is 16, plus 21. Bring down that plus 21. So now we just do 16 plus 21. So if I add my ones place, my ones are 6 and 1. So 6 plus 1 is 7. 1 plus 2 is 3. So 37. All right, our summary says variables are letters that really are numbers. Okay, so we took those letters and replaced them. To evaluate an expression, first rewrite the expression by replacing the variables, so covering them up with the numbers. Then use order of operations. I don't know if I left enough room there for. Oops, I spelled that wrong. I didn't make that line big enough, sorry. Use order of operations to evaluate the expression. And that's it.